Fantastic Four, man. It is out. The first steps. It is done in the theater, and the audience score has been revealed by Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter. There's Herbie. By now, we're sure you know that critics have been praising the Fantastic Four First Steps. What are the fans and the regular moviegoers saying about Marvel Studios' take on its first family? Find out here. Great. Critics had their say on the Fantastic Four First Steps earlier this week, and following an early international release and Thursday previews, fans and moviegoers are finally weighing in on the Marvel Studios reboot. Over 2,500 verified ratings on Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter. The Fantastic Four First Steps has an excellent 93%, higher than Superman by 1 point, same as Thunderbolts, and quite a bit above Captain America: Brave New World. The movie's tomato meter score currently sits at 88%, based on 235 reviews, while Thunderbolts received a similar level of acclaim. It also failed to crack $400 million at the worldwide box office. Fortunately, there appears to be far more interest in the Fantastic Four First Steps. Marvel Studios has successfully marketed as an event movie and as a largely standalone tale set on a separate Earth. It's likely to be a far more welcoming prospect than a feature led by streaming characters. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said he didn't want this reboot to feel like it required homework. Marvel's first family starred in 4 movies, one of which wasn't ever released before this effort, but it's filmmaker Matt Shakman who has finally done right by the beloved superhero team for their long-awaited MCU debut. So he said, comic book movies, the Fantastic Four First Steps, they concluded the Fantastic Four is an exceptional introduction to the MCU's first family, and thanks to a Jack Kirby-infused feel that's unlike anything we've seen before, it proves to be a quintessential superhero movie with Marvel Studios at its brilliant best. So this is, again, audience say the Fantastic Four verified 92%. So if you're Marvel right now, Winston, you're happy with what the critics and the audience is saying, but this was similar to Thunderbolts as far as, we're not talking box office, we're just talking about as far as reviews go. Are you in that 92%?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie, man. I would say, first of all, this is probably the most excited I've been for the superhero genre now that we've gotten the last 3 movies in Thunderbolts, Superman, and Fantastic Four, because they were all good movies.
Right.
The real question is, it's not just a matter of the content being good, is it drawing enough people back to do it? Because obviously you need the content to be good so that people will watch it, but you need money to come in. So I'm really hoping that this movie hits all of its markers, if not exceeds them, because then that just puts us back in a good place for this content to continue. But I thought that the movie was really well done. I thought that the main focus of the movie, really focusing on family, which would make sense. It's the family of comics. I thought that it was incredibly well cast. I thought that everybody that they put in, it was the exact person to do that. But I think for me, I'm curious about you, I think my MVP of the film would have to be Vanessa Kirby. I feel like she brought the most sauce to it.
I think so. I mean, I think I wouldn't argue with the Reed Richards side too, because
fair.
Pedro Pascal was kind of pushing a big boulder up a hill, because it's like, oh, Pedro Pascal's in this. He's guy's in everything, and he's just going to do the same thing. He's what is he actually going to capture Reed? And I thought he did. I thought he did a great job in really understanding who Reed was and this battle of this intelligence that this guy has and the things that he's consistently doing. And it's almost like, on the spectrum type stuff that they're doing with him.
Right.
And
that was a good choice.
Yeah, it was a great choice. And I think it really played well with what he's balancing in this is in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but the pregnancy and dealing ultimately with family and what comes first. And I thought he did a great job of that. But Vanessa Kirby is an excellent argument, and it's hard to argue against it because of showing what Sue Storm is going to be. And I like that they have this equal kind of balance that you can make the argument of either one of them. It's not like, oh, they're just making it a Sue Storm movie. I don't think that's the case. I think it's a Storm movie with her having a lot of the juice emotionally and him having to also balance that. And I think that what both Johnny and Thing do together, they all have stuff to do. Right. I like Ben the most. I think he had the least to do out of the 4 of them. But but I like him the best because I think Eben Moss-Bachrach is. We all said this. We were hoping he was going to get cast, and he did.
He did, and the depiction I thought was fantastic. I thought there was a little bit of a, like, without getting into much, I thought it was a little bit of a waste for Natasha.
Yeah, but you're Leon. But the thing is, before you even say that, because I agree, Roxy made a great point. She seems to be set up for future installments,
clearly, but. Right. Even if you're going to do that, like, for example, Rhodey got set up for future installments in the first Iron Man, but was still integral to what was going on with Tony. I could have gone without Natasha's character and nothing would have changed.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I get it felt like it was just to give Ben a storyline. And when people see it, because obviously we're doing non-spoiler right now, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. I don't think she did a bad job, and I like their chemistry. That was the only part that I could think of in the movie that I was like, I like seeing her on screen, but why is she here? You know what I'm saying? Like, every other character that was there, I was like, this makes sense. And
the answer, the answer, because they're trying to give him a little bit more to do and have a side story. You and I felt like we're part of that 93% of why this is a really solid movie. And this is from both of us who are not major kind of Fantastic Four fans at all.
Not a fan. I normally.
I just didn't. It never really spoke to me, So, like, the first two trailers, I thought were okay, and the last one I enjoyed. I was locked into this movie, dude, from the second this thing started. I was locked in, and they set it up really nicely. I'm gonna have my full spoiler review out a little later today, so people can see more, diving deep into what actually happens in it. But I thought that for me, the first act super strong. I can see where people are going to make an argument about the second act kind of slowing down a little bit, but I kind of like the balance of that. And then the third act just takes off, and it's just very strong. I thought Galactus was great. I thought he was terrifying, to be honest. And because of the voice, the actor is just so good. And I like where they're going. It is the first time I'm kind of really set up to care about, since phases 1 through 3, about what's happening in the MCU moving forward. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think that this was like a very solid setup, and I think what I appreciate about the last couple of films, even I will give Brave New World, even though I've told you that I really am not the biggest fan of that movie. Right. We clearly have direction right now, and everything that's come out, movies and TV, so like Ironheart, even you are making it very clear that it's going to be pretty heavy dealing with magic, and it's going to be pretty heavy this idea of universes colliding. And so, like, I put out a video of my theory of what I thought was going to happen in the film. Y'all should go and check that out. It was a fun thing that I put together. One of the things that I brought up multiple times, which has been said multiple times in Loki and Multiverse of Madness, that the one through line has been this idea of incursions and what that is. And so it's really nice to see that is continuously being brought up in every single project right now, this idea of worlds colliding, so that when we get to Doomsday and we get to Secret Wars, which we know is that storyline is about all these different universes kind of coming together, we're getting closer and closer to that, and I think it's being put in the right direction. So I'm glad that it feels like we've got a North Star again.
Yeah, and I really dug how and as I've been saying over the last week, Kevin Feige's been saying stuff where he's like, come on, man, let's not lie. Because there's a couple of times he says a few things in that article where you're like, stop it. Like, that's clearly, you're full of crap. What he's not full of crap about was saying you don't have to be caught up on anything. You don't have to do homework to watch Fantastic Four. It was so refreshing. Dude, it was so refreshing. We're caught up on all of it, and it was still refreshing.
Bro, from opening sequence, and on top of that, this is where I actually give Fantastic Four a little bit more credit than Superman, and this is not a knock on Gunn or DC or anything like that. We started with this movie, similar to Superman, in the middle of stuff going on, but this movie found a way to catch you up immediately. Like, you start in the middle, and then they go, let's give you a little, like, it almost felt in a way sort of like modern version of that 80s, like, I bet you wonder how I got here. And they do the little flashback, but it's done in such a classy way, and it's done in such a way that fits to the story. I'm like, bet, I know exactly who they are. I know exactly what's going on. I know how they roll. I know why people love them. Great. And then you keep it pushing.
And I also thought, like, the music was so well done by Michael Giacchino, who just continues to nail it. But when it comes to overall the music, the score, the tone of what they were going for, that to me really worked, and I thought that played in a way that the big MCU movies really haven't done recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I fully agree with that. Which in the same breath, though, one of the things that I think I really loved about the movie is there were moments where I realized, man, we're not like things are happening, but there's
Yeah.
like not a crazy amount of just like pew 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 like
No.
action stuff. It is a very
Well, by the end, obviously,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
they earn it.
But there's action throughout. But you know what I'm saying? Like the part of what is special about the Fantastic Four compared to a lot of the other people, but you would want to see this with characters anyway. So much of it is about them using their mind. I mean, obviously Reed being the smartest at all of them, but all four of them are very smart. I mean, again, Ben was an astronaut pilot already, which means he has to be intelligent. Sue has her own PhDs and is a scientist in her own. And then same with Johnny, where he is, and I really love that they gave Johnny his own kind of like not just blow things up arc. I thought that was also really cool to see them do that. I won't tell you guys what specifically.
And it does. Like I said, it ran out of purpose. I like the world building of this.
I do too.
I really liked the world building and how it was set up. And that to me was worth it. Like I sat in that theater going, wow, I'm just surprised how like into this I am. And so I'm glad. And I will also say, like, it's funny because people are going back and forth where because I had said, I still don't know the answer to this. I have to rewatch Thunderbolts because the prediction I was making throughout was that I still thought Fantastic Four would do the best out of the three of them, money wise. I still feel that way. I think the other thing I said was I think though quality wise that I was going to enjoy Thunderbolts the most. I have to rewatch Thunderbolts, and I probably have to rewatch Fantastic Four. Because it's between the two of them, I think, like because Superman I enjoyed. I think that they're both story wise and stuff. From my personal taste, I like these two better. I just think that Superman was goofy at times, but that it was purposely goofy. And I if you watch my taste, you know that I don't necessarily love the goofy stuff all the time. But all three solid movies, and I just was so shocked at how much I enjoyed this one.
No, I was too. There was enough writing on the wall that I was going to enjoy it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. Off rip, having seen the three movies once, I think I'd rank it Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Superman. But I agree with you. I would like to see them all again.
Yeah.
And reassess to just make sure I still feel that way.
Right. Right now, because it's recency bias. Right now, hold on a second. Watch this. We'll do it. I'll do it on the air, professional as possible. Hello.
Hi there. Person who uses sign language is calling you through Purple Video Relay Service. I'm sign language interpreter 4006. I'll interpret the call for you. Okay.
Thanks. This is gonna be I think you're interpreting the DoorDash.
Caller says hello. I am here.
Okay, perfect. I'm coming down. I'm coming down. All right. All right, Winston, take over.
Oh, that's funny. Christian has a delivery he has to grab real quick. So that's hilarious. I thought we were about to get another one of those. Y'all know how it is where Christian used to love to answer the telemarketer phone calls and just completely clown with them. But yeah, again, looking at the three movies, just how they've played out, and I'm not even really throwing Brave New World into it because, in all honesty, it's a very distant fourth for me. But I think part of it's always going to be a combo of things because, again, it's art. I mean, one is obviously the character development and how the story is moving. Two is like, what is the movie trying to say one way or the other? Because again, every single piece of art always has a message one way or the other, believe it or not. I mean, everything from your kids' movies to documentaries to whatever, they all have something that they're attempting to get across to you. And I just think to that point, the idea, and probably the reason why Thunderbolts hits for me a little harder is just because it resonates where I am in life. This idea of, potentially like imposter syndrome, or what do I do next, or I don't feel fulfilled, or things like that. There's like, I'm not at a midlife crisis by any means, but I'm starting to get closer to that age of just like, okay, where are we going next? What path are we taking next? And that's really what Thunderbolts focuses on. Fantastic Four, the idea of family and how important that is, and not just the family immediately connected to you, but the idea of your greater community and people putting their stuff aside to complete a greater goal. I think it was so well done in Fantastic Four that's part of why I think it's resonating for a lot of people. I know that's why it's resonating for me, for sure. So all I can say above all else, y'all, is I would definitely suggest you check this one out. If you can do it in IMAX, that would be the way to go. I really enjoyed it in IMAX. Did you see IMAX, or what did you do for your
IMAX.
screening?
Everyone comes see it in IMAX.
Yeah. I'm curious about the 4DX thing, man. I'm just I've never gone to one of those before, so it just feels like it'd be kind of fun. But yeah, no, I'm really about this movie, and I'm very curious to see what the first weekend box office is going to turn out to be.
Yeah, me too. And I'm so back and forth whether even bring it up on the air. What we talked about off air about the press tour with Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal.
We could do that. I was also going to bring up, like, I would talk about the thing we talked about yesterday. If you remember when I called, I thought that it was unnecessary for them to describe.
I actually mentioned that in my spoiler review. That I think that what Winston and I were talking about yesterday on the phone was that there was all this whole thing about Johnny, and mentioning up top that, oh, he's not going to be like the traditional playboy and do all this stuff. It's like, in the movie, he mentions many times over how much he loves women, and he's pursuing someone in the movie. And you're like, why did you have to? You don't see him like womanizing or anything, but why did you have to bring that up? It's like you're just asking people to get pissed off for no reason.
Literally, because the funny thing is you've perfectly captured his character as far as that element of him. You didn't need to say it. You could have just let him be, and we would have been fine. It literally felt like you were starting shit for no reason.
Right.
The last thing I was going to say, because there's been a little controversy right now, because a lot of times Marvel will reboot particular books and teams or heroes or whatever when a new MCU movie comes out. And so they did do a Fantastic Four issue 1, and in that they have Sue kind of leading the team. And to be honest with you, I felt like we got a similar dynamic here, but it rang more true to Iron Man and Captain America kind of doing that split, where it's like Iron Man is obviously the smartest man in the room, and like big scheme plan is the guy, but then Cap kind of calls the shots in the field in certain ways. That's kind of what it felt like was going on here with Sue and Reed. It felt very similar to the way, like, Steve Jobs had his cook, or like a Wozniak or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, yeah, Reed is definitely the one that's like making the moving the ball, but Sue is like kind of the spokesperson. You know what I mean? And so that was, she had multiple speeches, like one at the beginning, one in the middle, where she was addressing.
They established like what their dynamic is and what, like, who they are as characters. I think they did it well. So put your thoughts in there. Let us know what you think about this movie. Are you going to see it? You're going to check it out? We got more Fantastic Four stuff that we're going to do. Oh man, I'm so glad to finally talk to you guys about Cash App. I've been using Cash App forever, and now I get to talk to you guys about it. Don't worry, it's very easy, fast to sign up. Do you even know how much interest your money is earning you in your bank account right now? Well, let me tell you some stuff. Cash App can do way more than you think to make your money work for you. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can earn up to 4% annual interest on your savings. There's no hidden fees, no minimum balance requirements. Also, you can hit your saving goals even faster by turning on the Roundups feature on your Cash App card with Roundups. Every purchase you make using the card is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and that spare change is automatically put into your savings. Don't let your money sit around and gather dust. Make it work for you. Take advantage of high interest savings on Cash App today. For a limited time only, New Cash App customers can use our exclusive code and earn some additional cash. For real, just download the Cash App, use our exclusive referral code Christian in your profile, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, you're going to get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial service platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partner. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC, direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosure.